Hello, mate. So yeah, I'm in the mix session. Previously, I ran all of your stems through the J37 tape saturation. Well, not all of them, most of them. Some of them didn't really need it, and the ones I did had varying amounts. So I've exported those into mix session template. The whole heap of processing going on pretty much everything. Um, I've got a drum and perks bus, synth bus, and noise texture bus, and most of the tracks are being sent to one of those buses, apart from the bass and the return group. I've kept those separate. It's a very different track with the return group in and out. I'll just show. I'll just tell you what I mean. So that's with the return channel in. And that's with it out. It's a very different vibe. And I've done a fair amount of kind of, well, a little bit, I guess, not too much, but a bit of volume automation in places on the return group, because obviously it had a lot of the dry information in it. I've had to really kind of work on filtering some of it out and EQing things out and using TDR Nova and all sorts of things. So let me just take you through a few things. So the bass, I actually found that I quite liked. I picked out this sort of mid-rangey bit, which I quite like. It gives it a bit of a growl. I've shelved off a lot to make it try and sit with the kick a bit better. Let me just play that together. So I guess, I don't know, it's maybe more of a texture now than, a full-on bass element. Let me solo the kick. The kick is going through virtual mix rack, a bit of EQ, not too much, and it's going into the virtual channel on the Brit 4K setting, which they all are. They're all on the same setting. You can mix and match, I guess. There's tube settings and US. These are all emulations. I forget what. But this doesn't really sound like it's doing much, but it does add a subtle thing. Same as the tape saturation. The cumulative effect is quite noticeable. And then I've got it going into the neutron. I think this is just transient to try and, there was a bit too much of a click. And then this one is EQ, a little bit of a, oh yeah, and I did the masking against the bass. Bit of a bump there, transient exciter. I think this was maybe a default preset that I just tweaked. That's sounding all right, quite solid. The snare, where's the snare? We're gonna break again. Bit of EQ before, virtual mix rack with the 116, which is the old, I don't know, it's the emulation of the old Yuri, is it 7116 or something, leveling amp, which does the famous all buttons in, barely touching it kind of effect. I don't know, I can't remember, it's early, I need more coffee. But that's on drum bus parallel smack setting, so the mix is turned down, so it's doing that parallel thing where it's a really extreme effect, but you're not getting much of it come through. I've taken a bit of the weight out with EQ, and then it's going into the virtual channel quite heavily. And I think the same for snare too, pretty much. I won't go through everything. The thing I struggled with the most, I guess, is the bleeps, the kind of the main synth sort of elements. there's a real I don't know what it is from the original recording, like a real like distortion, saturation kind of thing, which is great, but cumulatively it's been a bit of a challenge, but just kind of taking the weight out and giving them a bit of air and a bit of compression and a bit of TDR Nova. That's you. Bit of TDR Nova. You know, it's all cumulative. So small changes built up make big changes. So all of those elements are going through to the synth bus, which again, loads of processing on it, mid-side. And this gatey weighty plugin, which is great. Oh, you hear that distortion there? That's because it's trying to do something with that plugin. TDR Nova again, and virtual mix rack on mix and master on the Monster, and mix tightener on this compressor, which isn't doing bugger all in actual fact because it's not turned on. The drums and perks bus, where are we on a break? I love this Monster, man, and drum bus parallel smack on the 116, but this Monster is wicked. Again, it's only like a little bit of the mix. But that sounds really nice, I think. And then the other one something's not happy. The other thing I wanted to pick out was the buzz. Oh, I've got a solo. There we go. And my CPU's going through the roof. A lot of processing going on. It's been behaving itself, but now I've ruined it by looking at things. Yeah, so on the buzz, I don't know, I just used the Nova to sweep the frequency a little bit. That's quite nice. I really like that. I love this whole outro section. This thunder. Love it. Anyway, as I say, it's been quite a challenge, but I've enjoyed it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to export it to I'm going to export the master channel and then import that into a master session and see where we go from there. Speak to you soon. Bye.